After watching these first 3 episodes, I'm like, I feel stupid feeling semi-worried about this show.
Ryan Airy is canon in the MCU?
I totally understand. Like, listen, from a morality standpoint, it's like, well, okay, murder is wrong.
Greetings, Palaxians. Today on the Bounty Board, we're discussing the premiere of Ironheart and the demonic hood. So kick up that warp drive and let's punch it.
Welcome back to the Guardians of the Palaxy podcast, everybody. I'm so glad that you're here. My name is MT, and I'm here today with 2 of my wonderful, amazing pals, Whitney and Tommy. What's going on, gang?
Hi.
Hi! Oh man, Ironheart!
Ironheart is here, and the first 3 episodes were freaking fantastic, man. Like, how'd you guys feel? I love them. How'd you guys feel?
I really, really like this show. I'm having so much fun with it. I love that, above all else, the Hood is a guy who appreciates a good saw trap. And he's here to just build his little saw traps, make you get out of them. That's a job interview? Great. Excellent. More job interviews should be escape rooms.
Nah, like I would literally cry. I would be in the fetal position, just crying and just immediately die in that elevator.
Oh my God, yes. This show's not for me. I don't see myself in it, therefore I hate it. No, I'm just kidding. I love it. I thought I would like it anyway. I love the casting. I think Anthony Ramos and Dominique Thorne are so good as actors that like this show would be elevated just by that. But I really am enjoying the supporting cast as well. I think the show is kind of surprising. I think the show is really strong at knowing the genre. Like, I think very early on in the show, when Riri is at the dean's office in college, and she's giving this like classic superhero, I have to do this, and I am this, and this, and this. And the dean just goes, that's bullshit, and you know it. It's like, oh, that's so great, because how many times do we have like these half-baked kind of like locker room speeches that are supposed to meant to inspire and galvanize, but when you listen to them, they're kind of word salads that don't mean anything. So I thought that self-referential moment set the tone for this show to be a little quirky and offbeat, not your average superhero show. I wouldn't say I'm surprised, but I have been delighted by it so far.
Dude, it's jarring though to watch the dean from Community be a mean dean.
Yeah.
In this
I was thinking the same thing.
Because I was just like, okay, if anyone would be perfectly fine with a student building a fucking AI robot person in the lab and blowing it up, it would be the dean of the human beings. I will tell you that much. He let Troy and Abed build an entire fucking pillow fort in the community college, and you're telling me that he's mad at Riri for doing a little science? Absolutely not. Not my dean.
What?
Not my dean.
Marvel scholars help me. We first saw Jim Rash in, was it Civil War? Was he in?
Yeah.
He was in Civil War when Tony's giving the speech for Barf, right?
Yeah, which is basically the same type of tech as like that projection stuff that Riri uses for the Natalie AI. So I'm just like, I wonder if she was inspired by Barf for that.
Mm-hmm. But that's just more great, MCU world building. Bring that character back, have him cameo in the first episode, establish that remind us all we're all in the same world that brought Thanos brings Ironheart. It is. It's really awesome. The challenge of a show like this is that you have this character that's not like, it's not a Spider-Man or a X-Men, or like it's a lesser known character, but it has all of this pedigree that we're reminded of, like it has all of these connections to the MCU and to Marvel Comics that are really strong. And I think the show does a good job, not necessarily beating you over the head with it, but really entrenching it into current MCU. And you see how these characters will eventually interact with other MCU characters, I think.
Yeah.
MT, what do you think?
Oh, no, I freaking love this show. Like, while watching this show, I got hardcore.
While watching this show, I got hard.
I got hard. I saw them tattoos and I was like, what's going on? Well, something's awakening.
What's going on?
No, this gives me like hardcore, a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man vibes, or that was the name of the show, right? The Disney Plus show.
Yeah.
I feel like we're very much seeing the establishment of like recreating her own villains in these first 3 episodes. Much like, Peter essentially created a lot of his villains in that series. And like, I really love when Marvel content or any content does that, where the hero accidentally creates their obstacles. And like, you know, and obviously the Hood is already established, and I'm wondering if we're gonna get some type of origin or like us seeing him actually find the Hood and all that. I mean, obviously spoilers ahead. I don't like, if you have not seen the show, I'm about to reveal something really, really huge. But like, obviously we have the return of Ezekiel Stain as Joe, first introduced as Joe. And, you know, Riri essentially gets him to start sticking up for himself after being pushed around like a sack of poo-poo.
The only white man on planet Earth who doesn't have confidence is Ezekiel Stain. And then it takes Riri Williams being like, why don't you have the confidence of a white man? Figure that out for yourself.
Yeah.
I thought that was fucking hilarious. I really love the way that Ryan Coogler properties make fun of white people because it is fucking perfect. It is like my favorite joke in the MCU is still just Martin Freeman jogging to Can't Stop by the Red Hot Chili Peppers in Wakanda Forever. That is like one of my fucking all-time favorite sick burns. So I also loved every scene with him in it. And it was so funny too, because like, I don't know, like with Ezekiel Stain, I kind of feel like it was pretty obvious that you're not going to cast Han Solo as a random character. Like the guy who played Han Solo is going to be cast in an important role in the MCU.
Right.
So I felt kind of like, all right, we know what's going on here. Like the second that I saw him on screen, but it was fun. I really liked the Zeke / Joe character. I think he's funny.
But like, I do have a feling that, you know, obviously with the, you know, the Ezekiel Stain character, he has been, you know, a villain in the Marvel comics. So like, how do you guys feel like we're going to see the transition from, you know, super nice, like, let's be besties, Riri type of guy to, you know, a villain or a possible nemesis for Riri? Like, what do you think is going to happen in these next 3 episodes that might facilitate that change?
I think, you know, we saw he has a propensity for revenge, right? Like he goes over to his neighbor's house and snips off all of her sunflowers or the tops of all of her flowers.
Suburban people are so passive aggressive, man. Just like anyone who lives in the burbs like knows that's a fucked up thing to do. I loved it.
But
I loved every minute of it.
I think also the, like, you know, now that Riri has compromised his synthetic, was it skin, that's going, I mean, that was the thing. His fear is being caught, right? Like he doesn't want to be pulled into his father's world, and she has now basically exposed him. And I think that betrayal, when, you know, they did lay it on a little heavy when he's like, we're friends, right? And she's like, yeah. And so it's like, okay, well, you're not going to be for much longer, are you?
Yeah, damn. I will say that that's the only thing about this show where I'm like, okay, is they do a lot of really heavy-handed exposition in this show because they're trying to catch us up with so much. Like, it, you know, just like the scenes where they're like, so how do you feel about your best friend who died in this exact step-by-step 1, 2, 3, 4 way? And it's like, show us, you know, show us a little more. Get to the showing us part faster. Right. But other than that, I think that the show fucking rules,
especially with the music. Like, man,
yes.
Was it episode 2? Like, there was like the performance, like at the party. I was like, yo, this song's a bop. I was like,
dude,
yo,
that song fucking ripped. I
wanted more of it. I was upset when the show continued. I was like, no, finish the song. The song's fire.
Finish the song.
But yeah, like the music in the show is fantastic. Like, obviously it's a Ryan Coogler production, and like that dude doesn't mess around with his music. Yeah. So like, how do you guys feel about the Hood in general? Like Anthony Ramos, obviously episode 3 was his big showcase of like what type of person that he can be. So like, how do you guys feel like his performance is so far? And where do you guys see, you know, the Hood heading in these next 3 episodes?
I think it's really interesting because they did the thing where, like, in his worst, most like violent moments, he had the possessed eyes. So it's still like, is Parker evil or is the Hood making him evil? You know what I mean? Like, there's that thing. And I think we're gonna see now that he feels betrayed by whoever, whatever mysterious entity he had made this bargain with. You know, now that his friend has died, I don't know if that's going to push Parker into being evil, or if the Hood's control over him is going to make him even more evil and dangerous. We know he's certainly powerful, right? Like he can move around basically undetected. We know that he's lethal. He's strong. He's a very scary villain because there's a lot less known about him as a person than there is known. We know that he was taken in by this guild of thieves at a young age, and he said that that's basically the only family he's ever had, and now he's lost the bedrock of that family. So I think we're going to see the amplification of his ability for violence, by 10, in the next 3 episodes.
Oh yeah, he's going to go from Robin Hood to Luigi real quick.
Two green
I steal
characters
from the billionaires and I give to the poor. To fuck these fucking CEOs, man. Fuck them.
But yeah, like it is interesting to see what's going to happen with the Hood in terms of like this possession of this mysterious magical item. But also, like, I am wondering, like, remember the tattoo gun that John was using on him, and like, he was applying this mysterious something onto his skin that appears to be accelerating or at least maybe helping him deal with like the strain that the Hood puts on him. Like, what do you guys think like the deal is with his weird tendrils on his back?
It's the demon inside.
Like, do you think he's being possessed by whoever?
Oh yeah, no, I do. I think that there's definitely some type of like demonic soul or something inside of him. I feel like it'll be something similar to what we saw in Agatha and also with Wanda, where like once the Darkhold starts to take over and you get black fingies, all bets are off. You're just kind of lost in the sauce, baby. You don't know which parts are you, which parts are Mephisto anymore. So I do think that the way that they're handling it is very interesting. I love that he's just going the full Dave Navarro, Ink Master, Liv Moss route with his getting tatted up instead of just having devil marks on him, I guess. You know that the tattoos are also eye-catching, right? Like, what are you doing here? But they're really sick tattoos, and I like them.
Yeah, I think, in the MCU, when you're granted power by nefarious circumstances, not through like self-earned, but if you get them through some sort of pact or some sort of deal, there's always a physical consequence. Like Whitney said, there's the fingers with the Darkhold, and there's the scales or whatever on his back from this deal. And I think, I wonder if the tattoos are some sort of countermeasure, like you said. Like, did they find out that like if he has these runes tattooed on his body, it'll kind of slow the progression of it? I have no idea. I do know that John seemed very hesitant to keep doing it because it was causing him a lot of pain. But I also wonder if some of that hesitation was because it was, they're venturing into an unknown magical world, and it was making him increasingly uncomfortable. So there's a lot to be learned about these tattoos, I think.
The dynamic between Parker and John that I thought was really interesting with all of that is how much more protective John is of the cape than Parker even is. I thought that was really interesting because, like, when, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name. What's her name?
Clown.
Sorry, yes, Clown. When Clown takes the hood and she's like messing around with it, John's the one who like flips out. And I thought we were going to see Parker come out and also like equally flip out. But nah, he was like, it's okay. You can play dress up a little bit. It's fine. Don't even worry about it, dog. It's okay. It's just a cloak. It's cool. No worries. You don't have to slam her into a table over this, man. So I do think that that's like a very, very interesting dynamic to have the villain be and the owner of the cape be the one who's like, nah, it's fine.
It's fine.
I do feel like, there is a degree of like naivety or something when it comes to the Hood himself and the cape, because like he feels like, oh no, this cape's a good thing. Like it gives me power and like it gives me control. Whereas John had a front row seat to like, his pain and like how this cape seems to affect him like on a darker level. So he's like, I don't know. I feel like people shouldn't really like one person's enough. Like we don't need more people infected with whatever you got.
Yeah.
And but going back to the tattoos, I have a feeling that these tattoos could potentially be some type of like, magical markings of sort to help maybe like help him with get more powers. Like maybe there's like
it could be an amplifier.
Spell. Oh, it's like a power amplifier. Ooh, like that's a good idea too.
That like we don't like, like on the walls of a Darkhold castle and in the Darkhold book, there's probably like super weird spells that we don't really like, chaos spells that like,
or on what was it, Manticore?
Wundagore.
Wundagore.
What's
Yeah.
Manticore? Manticore is a monster.
I don't
Yeah,
fucking know,
Manticore's a
man.
monster.
That's like a Manticore mixed with
flying
a Monte
lion.
Carlo.
Leave it in, editors. I want to get roasted for this. Someone hammer me in the comments. I don't care anymore. I'm so tired today. I don't know what my problem is. I got to wake up. Wundagore.
All the time.
Maybe they're in the ruins of Wundagore.
Or even in Agatha's house when she first like trapped Wanda in her basement with all the sigils. So yeah, no, that would be really interesting if it was a power amplifier. Because I was also thinking what Tommy said, like that it was like a slowdown, but I like that it could also be a ramp up.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because that would be more of a villain thing. Like most villains aren't trying to slow down their power progression.
That's
true.
Yeah, most villains are like, inject that shit straight into my veins.
Mainline it, baby.
Mainline me, daddy.
I want to talk about the rest of the crew. We have the unbelievable Shea Coulee playing Slug, which is
I love them.
Just a true delight. True delight. I at first I was like thrown off when they're in the van, and I'm like, oh wait, is that Shea Coulee? And it is. They do an amazing job, and is the most wanted person in Madripoor. I like the Madripoor's Most Wanted, baby.
I love references to Madripoor.
Let's do a fucking movie, Madripoor's Most Wanted. Let's remake the classic Malibu's Most Wanted, but just make it with Slug in Madripoor.
I think my problem is like I like this team too much, and I want them to have their own heist movie. Like I want the Blood siblings to have a little spin-off, like a little moment. I mean, they did already, but like I want more heist stuff. And I also, I know he's dead, but bring Stu back, because Eric Andre being in one episode of this show is a crime.
It 100% really is a crime.
Killed him off screen.
I also thought it was nuts that they kept him around until they found his replacement.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. If someone was like, you're fired and also we're replacing you, I would be like, okay, bye. I would not stick around and watch my successor defeat a saw trap elevator. I don't think that I'd stick around for that, but maybe that's just me.
I mean, it's always nice to get more Eric Andre, so I'm not complaining.
I want more too.
I do wonder if we're going to see these members of the Hood's gang end up getting powers through, maybe not powers, but like enhanced suits via some type of entity. And I have a feeling that it's probably going to be Joe. Because like at the end of episode 3, Riri has screwed over everybody with her big mistake. And like they're pretty upset, and like things are not going to be the same. And the Hood's crew almost died because of Riri's, big oopsie. So like they're probably like, we could have saved ourselves if we had high-tech shit like Riri. So like maybe down the line we're gonna see, potentially a pissed off Joe be like, hey guys, I have this weird hankering for tinkering with stuff. So since the MCU can't use the Tinkerer from Spider-Man Homecoming, I'll be the new Tinkerer and start selling weapons to people in the MCU. So like, I feel like we're going to see a showdown between, these angry Hood gang members with tech of their own.
I mean, she did technically save their lives though, too. I thought, so episode 3 concludes on this like very dramatic for everyone who's watched scene at this in these greenhouses. I thought this was going to be like a culling of that crew. I thought like, all right, it's gonna, they're all gonna die except for Hood and Riri, and that's gonna be like the conflict from then on out. But she does end up saving everyone but John. John, she says, as MT and I said, she pulled a Batman and said, I can't kill you, but I don't have to save you either.
Which is insane, because we've never have we seen Marvel heroes do that? Who else has done that?
I mean, like Natasha, she was killing people, and
for
Clint,
sure.
we know, was killing people, but like they're considered the broken ones in the MCU. Like they're the ones that are like, considered the ones that were like, oh boy, they broke bad for a little while. I suppose Captain America did a lot of Batmaning. He did a lot of like throwing people off of high ledges and being like, they're probably fine.
They're fine. It's a comic book. They'll get up. But this is a direct,
like she had a choice. She made a choice.
She had like a full-on choice, and he's like screaming for her. He's like, Riri, don't leave me here. Yeah. And she's just like, eh. But to be fair, I would probably leave that guy's ass too. He just tried to kill her.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody's trying to kill you, isn't it kind of self-defense to leave them in the
Sure.
greenhouse? Because, like, what if she let him out? He could have just continued trying to kill her.
No,
so I don't know.
I totally understand. Like, listen, from a morality standpoint, it's like, well, okay, murder is wrong, but also this person was just trying to kill her. So she basically just won the fight in the most extreme way possible. However, I was saying this before, I don't think he's dead. I don't think he died. We saw him gasping for air, but we never saw him die, you know? We never, even
she just said he's not moving, so maybe he's passed out.
Right. I don't know.
Could be.
I mean, like his pulse did read 0 on her monitor. So like, but like, who knows?
People
Like, maybe
can be revived. I'm telling you,
true.
people can be revived, and
unless you're Maria Hill. Fuck you, Secret Invasion.
Unless you're Maria Hill, in which case you're dead forever for no reason.
For real, for no reason.
Colby Smulders.
How I Met Your Corpse, am I right?
How I Met Your Corpse.
And that's How I Met Your Corpse, kids.
The kids' names are still just Luke and Leia, though, inexplicably.
So, like, with this Rampage murder, I feel like there's something really suspicious about it. Because, like, obviously, like, we're meant to be, you know, led to believe that it was actually him, that, John, that, like, killed Rampage. And, like, you know, he did say, like, oh, we don't like loose ends. So, like, you know, it is very likely that John did kill Rampage. However, wouldn't it be crazy if it was actually Ezekiel Stane that killed Rampage for his tech? And then, like, you know, that's why he's sort of like messing around with the skin, because, like, oh man, like, I got this cool tech from Rampage, and like Riri only assumed that it was John, which is why she did this whole, you know, I gotta like get some leverage whole thing. And like, that would be like a huge, like, oh my God, I did all that for no reason. Because the Hood, you know, even though the Hood is like, you know, he can be sort of messed up, he seems like he really cares about the people that he works with. Like, he's like, hey, you guys are so beautiful. Like, I thank you guys for, like, you know, being a part of my team. He seems like a, you know, a decent boss, even though he is flawed. So I don't think that he would have killed Rampage.
I don't think he would have either, because, like I said, he's more of a Robin Hood type than anything else. Like, he's all about, like, you know, fuck up the people who are fucking up the earth, and then you know, like, he's like almost like a little bit of Poison Ivy in there, where he's like, fuck you, save the planet, but he's also like, fuck billionaires, like, redistribute that wealth specifically to me and my friends. So I don't, but he doesn't strike me as like a fucking like, oh, I'm just gonna kill a guy because he's a loose end. He seems like the type of guy who's ultimately just trying to fuck over shitty people for his own financial benefit. But how does it benefit him if that guy's dead? I mean, like, how if you kill Eric Andre, that's just a lot less giggles in the squad, my man. Like, bring him back for color commentary.
Preserve the giggle squad at all costs, I say.
Yeah, preserve it. That's the benefit that Tommy and I bring to to groups we get recruited into.
MT for the knowledge, Whitney and Tommy for the howlage.
But also, we do have to consider the fact that, you know, the Hood knows that Riri doesn't want to be part of the squad forever. So, like, why would the Hood kill Rampage if he's like option number 2, like the backup option?
Yeah, he's still like, backup option.
Yeah, like, you know, he's not useless. So, like, it would be kind of stupid to just be like, all right, bye. Like, let's kill this guy off.
The other thing would be, if you look at the other way, like, to scare Riri and be like, look what happened to the guy who left before you. You're not leaving. Because we'll kill you, or we'll kill someone in your family, because, you know, Riri's mother's out there.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver is so funny.
It's just like Baby Driver.
All roads lead back to Baby Driver. My favorite actor, Kevin Spacey.
Flawless actor, Kevin Spacey.
I have a theory truly about the greenhouse billionaire, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think that it is the fact that Parker really prides himself on building the best saw traps. He really does. But did you notice how, like, they had no reason to rob that guy? And John was like, we can't even find any dirt on him. There's nothing wrong. Like, we haven't found jack shit. This is a really dangerous job. Don't go in there. And Parker's like, no, I got to go in there. I think he was trying to take out the only other guy who can build saw traps as masterfully as he can. I think that he was just like, you know what? I know that this guy builds saw traps. That's my thing. And so that's why he raided the greenhouse, but then the saw trap was too elaborate.
Can I voice a frustration?
Go for it.
That guy was the perfect opportunity. A man with very little history, a man with very little dirt on him, a man with an obsession in discovering the history of the vegetation on Earth. Why not make him a Skrull? Why not tie Skrulls into the Skrull? Why not, when his neck broke and he fell to the ground, turn him into a Skrull, tie this stupid plot point into the MCU? Why have Skrulls if we're not going to use them? Like, he was like, this guy's got to be a Skrull, and then he wasn't. And
I feel like the Skrulls have entered the Inhumans, sort of like, we don't want to, touch a group of people that people don't really care for.
They took a vow of Skrullians. You may not speak about them.
Like, we're probably not going to see anything Skrull until well after Secret Wars. Like, I feel like
I just felt like it was a perfect opportunity to nod to 100%. Skrulls are still walking amongst us. But why make him so mysterious then? The only other thing I thought is he's going to be revealed to be someone else, but then he died. So now he's not.
I honestly, as I was watching that, I was just like, this is just Gavin Newsom. This man is just like the child of Patrick Bateman. How he's just like, look, just take the check and leave. It absolutely reminded me of 2 weeks ago when Gavin Newsom was fighting with Trump on Twitter and was like, come and get me, tough guy. I was like, that is the same energy that this character has. Gavin Newsom.
Hard agree.
But no, I think it would have been even crazier if John was revealed to be a Skrull. It's like, you got me. And it's like,
you got me, I'm Skrull. And actually, Skrulls can breathe in this weird gaseous stuff that would have killed me as a human. Skrulls fucking love CO2.
Wait, wasn't that actually the case in Secret Invasion? Like, it wasn't that he was trying to cause a nuclear apocalypse because Skrulls can survive? So so that would be,
so that could have worked.
That's realistic.
Maybe John's a Skrull.
We didn't see him die, so anything's on the table, really. So obviously, okay, shit has hit the fan for Riri. There's a lot, we got 3 more episodes left. Where do you guys think the narrative is heading?
She needs to redeem herself after this, what happened.
Murder.
And she's a murderer. And we need to we need more of the Hood's downfall into this demonic possession that he has. I think the wild card in all of this is going to be Ezekiel Stane.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be pissed. And I think we've seen the last of that budding friendship, and it will now become quite a rivalry.
When Mephisto starts communicating with him in that final scene, Brett and I started calling him Philip Damilton. Because he's from hell now.
Yes. Yes. Philip Damilton.
We have heard rumors, and it's been very much suggested by a lot of people on the internet that we are going to see this Mephisto pop up at some point during this Ironheart series after a long time of MCU fans demanding Mephisto. But do we actually think that we're actually going to get Mephisto proper, or maybe do you think this person whispering to the Hood could potentially be Dormammu in the comics, or do you feel like the Hood is going to come from Mephisto proper?
We saw in the scene where Natalie and Riri are talking on the street, there's the posters in the back for Faust, right? Faust is a Mephisto alias, correct? If I'm not mistaken, I think Faustian is demonic, is the devil, Mephisto. Those kind of all tie in. So I feel like we're going to get a Mephisto proper by the end of this show. And I think
so too.
The heavy rumors are Sacha Baron Cohen, obviously, but that would be a lot of fun. Anthony Ramos and Riri Wilson, Dominique Thorne have been teasing this massive cameo in their interviews recently, saying it's an elite actor. I don't know if Sacha Baron Cohen falls under elite actor categories, but he's certainly one of the most famous comedic actors of our time.
Yeah.
Right. I am wondering whether or not we're actually going to get Mephisto, but it would make sense considering that, there was reports that this next phase post Secret Wars is going to be, heavily focused on the dark side of the MCU, like the dark side of Marvel, like full on Blade, like more Blade type projects. If we ever actually get Blade, who knows? But like we're entering a darker phase of the MCU post Secret Wars, so it would make sense for Mephisto to be like, hey, here I am. I'm gonna be a huge presence, and I'm probably gonna, create a lot of like demonic type forces for the Midnight Suns to have to fight. And it would be great if he was just, the main villain of a Midnight Suns project proper, because like that would be like, a Thanos level threat, or at least a Loki level Avengers threat that the Midnight Suns could tackle. But like Sacha Baron Cohen is a very interesting choice if the rumors are true, because like, man, like he's a wacky guy. So like,
he's so tall,
very wacky
too.
Guy.
I don't know
very
if I can
tall,
be intimidated by
wacky.
him. That's the thing. Like, I don't know if he's intimidating. I don't know, but we'll see.
We'll find out. We'll find out.
It definitely makes sense to hire a comedian to play Satan, though, because I don't know. In my headcanon, the devil's really funny.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's how that's the silver tongue, man. Like, if you have a silver tongue, then you're probably funny as hell. There is something I do want to talk about in terms of like, the Hood's hood in general, because like it does feel like a part of a trend that we're seeing in the MCU of like dark objects. I don't know if I brought this up last week. If I did, like, stop me. Imbuing people with power and making them, like having a symbiotic relationship with them. Like, for example, we saw that in Thor: The Dark World with the Ether. Like, it sort of bonded with Jane Foster, with Gore the God Butcher, with the Necrosword.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing it with the Hood in this cape. There's a narrative of these demonic type objects sort of making demon avatars out of people. So like, much like Gore the God Butcher lost control, it seems like, the Hood might be headed towards that direction, and possibly Riri or Natalie, the Natalie AI. If this chaos magic ends up infecting the suit, we could see the Natalie AI just like start attacking Riri, especially because she's been feeling like Riri doesn't feel like she's the real Natalie. So like, I feel like she's going to want to seek independence if she is, infected by this chaos magic, because that's sort of what chaos magic tends to do. It like amplifies one's emotional state to make them chase what they want desperately, no matter what, as we saw with Wanda, Agatha, Gore, etc. So like, I'm really interested to see, like, once Riri starts messing around with this weird cloth material that she picked up from the Hood and like sort of synthesizes this energy for herself, if that's going to backfire on her completely. And or like, I was thinking like, maybe there's a chance that this big cameo is actually Blade. Like, what if it's not Mephisto and it's Blade?
Give me Blade.
Your suit. Your suit, I'm going to stab it. But I don't know.
I'm going to kill your cape.
I'm going to fucking kill your cape.
But like, I would love if it was a secret Blade cameo. Instead of a Mephisto.
Oh, wait. What if we get Doctor Strange's cape to fight the Hood's cape? And it's just a cape fight, baby! Cape on cape crime! Let's go! We can hold it at a tailor's office just in case anyone gets a rip or a loose seam. It'll be perfect.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah.
Put it in Secret Wars. I need to see it. The cape.
Martha Stewart can be
Everyone's
the referee.
Fighting and then the capes are just fighting.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I don't know how we have not talked about this yet. We've been talking for 30 minutes. Ryan Airy is canon in the MCU.
Wow.
Our friend Ryan.
He's furious.
He's Mephisto, obviously.
Ryan Airy is going to be Mephisto. That's the big casting announcement.
Bro, I freaking love that. I was like, oh my God, that is so cool. If it was
I
actually
screamed.
Ryan
I
Airy.
was so excited. I was like, that's our friend.
But yes, very, very cool. He's an arms dealer. So like, we'll have to ask him to hook us up with some sweet bombs. Now I'm on a list of
Give me them bombs.
Give me them bombs, Ryan. But yeah, like, is there anything else you guys want to add?
Just that I'm very excited for the next 3 episodes. I didn't love the release pattern of these. I thought it was very much a short release pattern. I could have done 2, 2, and 2 even. But I'm, now that I've seen the first 3, I'm excited to get to finish it all in another one big hunk. But Disney knows what's best, right, guys?
Mickey Mouse is standing behind Tommy with a gun, like, yeah, that's right.
Oh, boy, that's right, motherfucker. Hi, pal. You're gonna do what I say, or else.
We have your
we're gonna have a
family.
big problem. Oh boy.
I'm gonna make your family bleed all over.
But I too am very excited for the last 3 episodes of Ironheart. Like after watching these first 3 episodes, I'm like, I feel stupid feeling semi-worried about this show because like obviously it's Ryan Coogler. So like obviously the show's gonna be
It's just
fire.
good. Yeah.
It's just good. Like he's not gonna produce like a mediocre thing or like if his name is on it, like it's gonna be like fire. It's gonna be a great time.
For sure. Agreed.
So,
Also, if Eric Andre's in it, it's fire.
yes.
Come on. Even if he's only in 1 episode, I would watch the whole show based on that alone.
We needed him and Hannibal, like in the same, like, I don't care.
Yes.
Just bring that coach back. I don't know if he's a Spider-Man character.
Yes.
I don't care. Just bring him in.
I'm just glad they're
that.
both in the MCU.
Stuart's ashes are now in the MCU.
He's alive still. They're all still alive in my eyes.
But yes, no, I cannot wait to talk about the last 3 episodes with you guys. It's going to be freaking fantastic. I'm going to be sad when the show ends. I feel like it's going to be a really short Ironheart period, which is sad, but like I'm glad to be in it.
Yeah.
Like always, you guys can check out our Patreon, linked down below. It's a fantastic way to support the channel. And we do have a Patreon shout out today. We're shouting out our friend Ruben. Tell us about Ruben, Whitney.
Ruben Becker. Wow, what a gem. What a bean. What an angel. Just coming in hot with an I love you guys. We are so grateful, Ruben. We thank you so incredibly much. We couldn't do this without you. We think that you're the cat's pajamas, man. You're the tits. You're the bee's knees.
We love you, Ruben. Thanks for the cash loan.
Thanks for the small loan of $1 million, Ruben. Really appreciate it.
Yes,
Small
thank
cash
you.
loan.
But no, seriously, we really appreciate you supporting the channel. It means a lot to us. So if anybody else wants to support the channel, please do with the link below, and like we'll give you a shout out because like we love shouting out our beautiful babies. You guys are amazing, and we'll catch you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.